You won't believe this. Hollywood's golden age looked like glamour, diamonds, and perfection. But behind the silver screen, in the shadows of those dazzling lights, there were stories so strange, so shocking, that the studios spent millions to bury them. These weren't just scandals. They were bizarre, twisted, unbelievable events that could have destroyed the image of Hollywood forever. From stars who lived double lives, to contracts that forced actors into unthinkable situations, to secrets that were darker than any film they ever made. Tonight we reveal 20 bizarre old Hollywood stories that studios desperately tried to erase. Stay with me because each story is stranger than the last. Story #20. The star who married her own cousin. Back then, image was everything. When actress Loretta Young faced questions about her personal life, the studio went silent. Few knew that her family tree was tangled. She had been pressured into marrying her first cousin in her youth. It was legal at the time, but shocking even then. The studio buried the truth, fearing the public would never forgive her. Story #19. The actor who lived in the cemetery. One rising actor, obsessed with death and gothic culture, secretly rented a small room near Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Instead of attending glamorous parties, he spent nights wandering among tombstones, memorizing epitaphs, and claiming he felt more alive with the dead. The studio kept this hidden after all. Who would pay to see a romantic hero obsessed with corpses? Story #18. The hidden pregnancy of a superstar. A leading actress in the 1930s suddenly vanished from the spotlight for several months. The truth? She was pregnant but not married. For that era, it could destroy her career. So the studio invented a fake illness, sent her abroad, and when she returned, the baby had quietly been adopted by a close relative. The public never knew. Her films sold, her reputation remained intact, and her child grew up believing someone else was their mother. Story #17. The studio contract with a terrifying clause. Some contracts from the 1940s contained a bizarre line. Actors were forbidden to gain or lose more than £5 or they could be fined and suspended. One actress revealed that she was even ordered to take diet injections without knowing what was inside them. The glamorous figures on screen weren't natural, they were forced into them by cruel contracts. Story #16. The actor who refused to bathe. Behind the charming smiles, some stars hid shocking habits. One leading man of the 1940s was infamous among his co-stars for his refusal to bathe. Actresses dreaded kissing scenes with him, describing the smell as unbearable. The studio worked overtime to cover it up, terrified that fans would turn away from their box office darling if they knew the truth. Story #15. The actress who slept in a coffin. Yes, this actually happened. An eccentric actress fascinated by immortality had a custom-made coffin placed in her bedroom. She claimed sleeping in it would preserve her youth. The studio warned her never to speak of it publicly, fearing headlines would call her the Mad Woman of Hollywood. Story #14. The actor with a secret identity. One famous actor of the 1950s wasn't who he claimed to be. For years, he acted under a fake name and a completely falsified background. The studio invented his childhood, rewrote his past, and erased all traces of who he really was. Why? Because his real history included a criminal record and a family scandal that would have ended his career before it started. Story #13. The actress forced to pretend she couldn't walk. In a shocking publicity stunt, one actress was told by her studio to fake a disability to win public sympathy. For weeks, she was paraded in front of cameras in a wheelchair, claiming she had survived a terrible accident. In reality, she was perfectly fine. When the stunt ended, she miraculously recovered. Fans cheered. The truth was never revealed. Story #12. The star who spoke to spirits before filming. One major actress refused to begin filming until she had consulted her spiritual medium. Every morning she claimed she could hear the voices of dead loved ones guiding her. Studio heads found it bizarre but tolerated it because her films were making millions. But the press never heard about her seances. The studio made sure of that. Story #11. The actor who kept a pet alligator. Yes, in Hollywood's golden age, one actor actually kept a live alligator as a pet in his Beverly Hills home. He would walk it around the neighborhood like a dog, terrifying neighbors. When the press got wind of it, the studio denied everything. Just rumors, they said. But behind the gates of his mansion, the alligator was very real. Story #10. The actress who wore a wig made of human hair. In the age of wigs and makeup, one actress went to disturbing extremes. She wore a wig crafted entirely from human hair collected at a morgue. She believed it gave her roles a real energy. When co-stars found out, many refused to stand near her. The studio buried the story, warning reporters that it would ruin her career. Story #9. The actor who faked his own death. One actor, drowning in debt and scandal, staged his own death. The newspapers announced it. Tributes poured in, but months later, whispers emerged that he was living quietly in South America under a new name. The studio denied everything. To this day, some believe his death was nothing more than a Hollywood trick. Story #8. The hidden cult of Hollywood. Behind the polished studios, a group of actors and producers secretly belonged to a strange spiritual cult. They gathered at midnight in the Hollywood Hills, performing bizarre rituals with fire and chanting. When word leaked, the studio panicked. They quietly paid off reporters to ensure no headlines ever mentioned it. Story #7. The actress with two lives. One of Hollywood's most glamorous stars secretly lived a double life. By day, she was an adored actress. But at night, she disappeared working under a false identity in a downtown jazz club, singing in smoky rooms where nobody knew her name. For years, the public never realized their favorite screen goddess had a secret life. Story #6. The actor who collected human skulls. Some actors collect art, others collect cars, but one Golden Age star collected human skulls. He displayed them in his mansion, claiming they gave him wisdom. When guests recoiled in horror, he laughed it off as props. The truth? They weren't props, and the studio desperately fought to cover up his obsession. Story #5. The actress who was locked in her own mansion. One fading starlet became so reclusive that her own family locked her inside her mansion, claiming she was ill. For years, she lived alone in decaying rooms, with servants slipping food under the door. The paparazzi never saw her again. The studio told the world she had retired peacefully. The truth was far darker. Story #4. The star who claimed to be an alien. Yes, you heard that right. An actor in the 1950s confessed privately that he was not human, but an alien sent to entertain Earth. Co-stars thought it was a joke, but his obsession grew so strange that the studio forced everyone to stay silent. To this day, fans debate whether it was mental illness or a true belief. Story #3. The actress who vanished into thin air. One promising young actress was set to become the next big star. Then one night, she simply disappeared. No goodbye, no note, nobody ever found. Some say she ran away. Others believe she was silenced because she knew too much about the studio system. Her name was erased from all contracts. Today, she is Hollywood's forgotten ghost. Story #2. The actor who couldn't stop laughing at funerals. Behind the scenes, one actor had a chilling habit. He would attend funerals of fellow stars and laugh uncontrollably. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't stop. The press called him charming. But inside Hollywood, people whispered that he was cursed. The studio worked tirelessly to make sure this disturbing trait never reached the fans. Story #1. The actress who slept in ice to avoid aging. And finally, the most bizarre of them all. One legendary actress, terrified of losing her beauty, had a secret ritual. She slept in a bed lined with blocks of ice. Doctors warned her it could kill her, but she insisted it preserved her youth. Studio heads silenced anyone who tried to expose her strange routine. And here it is. Her beauty remained untouched on screen, but behind the curtains she was shivering through the nights, desperate to stay forever young. And there you have it. 20 bizarre old Hollywood stories that were never meant to see the light of day. Stories of stars who lived in fear, obsessions that crossed into madness, and secrets that the studios paid millions to bury. But here's the question. If this is what we know, just how many secrets are still out there, still hidden, still waiting to be uncovered? Because in Hollywood, the truth is always stranger than the movies.